So, just a quick overview. So this is just a general concept that everybody should learn how to do, but we're gonna see it in effect. So make sure to put on all guard and stun on normal, and yeah, quick standing to see if like say if you get a trade or something, and if you do a cross or something if you're using a dive-kick character. So we'll see about that. So a general overview is, for the most part, Necro players, they always want to go for something like back strong into the tornado hook. They obviously can't do this, the jab tornado hook, because it knocks down. And the fierce is too slow, so that's the only time they're gonna do that is about for a full punish, like off of a shorty or something. But if they're looking for something, then for the most part you'll most likely see them go like back strong into tornado hook, strong tornado hook. Now the concept about this is obviously a good punishment for this. So you're gonna want to, go for the red parry to avoid the entire situation altogether. So you don't want an opponent to keep on abusing this. So you want to make sure that you red parry the second hit and punish them afterwards if they don't do anything. For example, if he does a back strong into tornado hook with nothing, you counter and you get a full punish for that. Half stun, 50 points of damage, and you can probably do a lot more too. Or maybe so you could do something like that. Now the general idea is that obviously this is a super cancelable special. So they can always react to the parry and then go into super afterwards. So what I'm gonna do is go into super afterwards, and then what I want to show with every character is the best option to go for. And obviously you can't do anything afterwards because you run into the electric snake. So I try to do back roundhouse and it doesn't work because it's too slow. And now any other the only other normal that you could probably use is probably just to cancel it and do back short or something to avoid extra damage and actually stop the entire super altogether. Another idea is to go into super, but it just trades and it's not really worth it wasting an entire mirror for it. So in the case of Necro versus Necro, if you're red parrying it, it's kind of hard to tell which one to use. I'm trying to do Flying Viper to get over it, but the most I'm getting is a simple one-hit juggle because of the animation. Because certain characters can also go over it. For example, Chun-Li, she can just do forward roundhouse and hop over the entire electric snake altogether. So things like that could work, and obviously something that's like one frame or something. So for example, Hugo's 360 will grab him all together and avoid the electric snake as well. But Necro versus Necro, you can't really do anything. So the most you could probably do is just back short to cancel the entire animation, but you're better off just blocking everything all together. So now we're gonna go on to other characters. So we go to Alex. So now we'll start off by looking at with no meter and then looking at with meter. This is all assuming that you get the red parry and the opponent goes into super regardless. So this is without meter. Basically, You can do something like the jump knee press. I guess is that what it's called, or I guess the shoryuken that he has. You can just do that for off the second parry, and then just avoid the entire animation altogether, and then just 360. Not 360. Command grab. Sorry. So yeah, this is without meter, and this is with meter, and it actually avoids everything altogether. So it's actually a good option to use if you're looking to punish him for it. So without meter, you'll, for the most part, if you see him just going into the tornado hook by itself without no meter, you'll probably have to react to it, but for the most part, let's see. Yeah, you can also do EX knee press, and that'll be the end of it. But you have to do it instantly, so it has to be at least a punish that's good enough to avoid both situations altogether and cover them. So you don't really want to be put into the situation where you want to react to the tornado hook and see if he does a super or not, and then not be able to punish it afterwards. So yeah, those are the punishes that you can do with Sean. Shoryuken, it goes through the entire thing. So that's one option when he has meter. The general punish would be off of the tornado hook would be simply roundhouse into forward tornado kick. So with a little meter, I mean, you'll probably do something a little bit better. Yeah, try to do a shorty, doesn't work. Yeah, nothing else. Yeah, nothing else works. So for the most part, you're probably just gonna have to resort to super with Sean, because it avoids everything altogether. It goes over everything actually. And plus it counts as him crouching, so it's a good amount of damage to get. So. No, you can't. You can't throw him out of it. I've tried it before, and well, maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure I tried it before and it doesn't work. But yeah, we'll try it again. But yeah, Ibuki, she can't do anything either except for like universal overhead or something. Just to avoid the super, and that's it. So yeah, we're gonna try to grab and see what happens. And of course it doesn't work. Or it does. The only reason why it worked is because I was actually in range. I think it's because of the range that Ibuki has on a grab that that didn't work before. So that's probably why I was saying it wasn't working. It would have to be at least after. So I guess for the most part you could probably just grab with certain characters and you know that would be the most that you could probably do. But you would have to mash that out and maybe Necro can probably grab too. Let me just go over it again. Yeah, just grab I guess. But I mean, at the same time, it's not really as useful as if, for example, if he does a tornado hook by itself and no super, then you could probably just confirm into something else. But maybe you can react to the parry, or to the super. Maybe.
Into the heat of battle, go for it.
With no super? And with super.
Into the heat of battle, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you react to the parry, block for a second, and then just go into the punish. Shit. Oh, come on. Okay, that's with no super. Yeah, you probably have to delay it just enough. And just enough so that you block for the first few frames and then you continue this punishment afterwards. But it's kind of a tight link. It's kind of a tight window to do. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's probably what you can do. Wait, block for the first few frames for a little bit, and then just go into the punish. And then if you see the super, then you don't get anything. But you have to be... Pause, and then just... There's a little split second where I wait a little bit, and then I continue with the punishment. Wait, and then just go into it. So at least this way, it's better than simply committing to it, and you know, avoiding the entire scenario of you messing up or something. Urien, let's see, with Aegis, I mean, for the most part, he probably just like Aegis out of it and avoid everything altogether, but it's not really a punish. Because some characters they can trade with the electric snake and do extra damage afterwards. So it's pretty useful against certain characters. So obviously with no meter, you do crouching fierce into. So let's see with no meter. Yeah, too much. And then you do. A little too slow. Too slow. Too fast, actually. Yeah, it's too much for that. You're better off just simply grabbing. And then just improving your situation from there. Come on. And then into Aegis, and then into whatever. He's one of the few cases that where you're just gonna have to resort to a grab or something afterwards. But then again, you can always just, you know, like I said, attempt to block for a few first few frames and then crouching fierce, but you're better off just taking the safe route and just, you know, grabbing afterwards. So now, Akuma is one of the few cases where it's actually more beneficial to go for something after, regardless of whether it hits or not. Regardless of whether he goes into super or not, excuse me. Because it's a good enough punish for, I mean, it's not as good as, you know, crouching fierce into Tatsu into Shoryu. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about too much afterwards. You get a trade off of the Shoryu, and then from there you can actually do a super and connect the entire super afterwards. Or you can dash up and then do another super too. And then you get that much damage. Yesterday I tried to do more with it by doing like a traded Shoryu and dash up into Tatsu, but it's a little too far. I'm trying to do jump Tatsu after that. So yeah, you can do something like that off of the punish for Akuma. Yeah, that doesn't work. You can also teleport too if you really want to. But it defeats the purpose if you want to punish afterwards. So, you know, you can do something like that. With Yan. Certain characters would require a meter for this, but other characters you can just simply do EX and get out of it. Yun is one of those exceptions where he can just EX out of something and that's it. And then he can go into a full combo right there, and then just get them over afterwards. Now the thing is, even if there was no super to come after the tornado hook, he would get an EX up kicks, and then he can do another roundhouse up kicks to get maximum damage. And you know, that's more beneficial to do instead of simply just waiting for the combo. Remy, I haven't tried with Remy, so maybe he can do super. I'm pretty sure he could do super afterwards. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try it without meter, and then afterwards we're gonna try it with the super. Yeah, crouching fierce doesn't work. Try to do somersault or something. Trying to do super after the standing forward. Let's try standing strong. Ah, it doesn't work. Ah, okay, so you can trade with the super and then go into your own super afterwards. But you have to wait a little bit. Nah, too slow. Ah, too slow. Too slow again. So you buffer it slowly afterwards and then you can continue. Let's try it with just raw super and see what happens. Yeah, and it goes through it entirely, so that's a good way to do it. And remember, he's on all guards, so he can't. So if you know it won't work if he blocks it entirely. But he's obviously not blocking it, so the trade works perfectly. With Q, obviously he's probably gonna be too slow to do anything normally, so he's gonna require his super. Maybe he can do EX hands or something afterwards, but we'll see about that. Yeah, EX hands doesn't work. Yeah, for the most part he could just super out of it, and that's the end of it. And of course, the worst of them all. No work whatsoever. Literally, she doesn't need to do anything. All she has to do is forward roundhouse and that's it. Not to mention the fact that she can go over the super and then go into her own super afterwards. Half-life, just because. Excuse me. Makoto, I did this before yesterday. For the most, you're gonna want to use Super 1 against in this matchup if you want to avoid the whole electric snake scenario. Because otherwise, she can't really do much except for like standing short or something to cancel the super. Or not even. Yeah, she can't even do anything. So for the most part, if you want to escape this with Makoto, you'll probably have to resort to a super. And you'll get that. You'll get the whole basically the electric snake will stop the animation of her super, but he'll still be in the hit stun, so you can combo afterwards. But there are certain situations where if you delay the super like by a few frames, you can actually get the entire super animation and not worry about anything. I'm trying to delay it just enough to get the super, but it's not working. There it is. Oh wait, I thought that was it. There it is. Oh, what? That's so weird. Yesterday I got the full animation off of that. Or you can also go for a jump combo afterwards too. So that's actually a better punish to do afterwards. But I wonder... Oh, wow. Almost as much as the super altogether. So yeah, that's pretty much what she can do. With 12, I haven't actually got a chance to try with 12. I mean, the most logical thing that he'll probably resort to is just like the axe. But even then, it doesn't really do much. Wow, even super, it just trades. Yeah, nothing is really worth doing. So you're probably just better off. Yeah, just going for a grab, because it's actually the most damaging thing you could probably do. So yeah, that's 12. Yang, I did before. He can't really do much except for his own his drill kicks. But even then, it just does something like that. But at least you get a nice mix up afterwards. It has to be instant too. Otherwise, it's not gonna do anything. And then you get something like that afterwards. So it's not too bad, but you know, I prefer something much more. even doing super, it gets traded. So. You could probably do something like that afterwards, but you know, that's mostly what you can do. But yeah, so that's Yang. Ryu, probably the same thing, probably be able to show you. But I feel like he's gonna be too slow. I'm not sure. Or maybe do something like that. Yeah, you can't. I guess you can't do much afterwards. So let's try Tatsu. No. Maybe EX Tatsu. No. Yeah, I guess the most beneficial thing would be to do EX Shoryu, so that way you can get a dash up into juggle afterwards. Yeah, and then he gets pushed into the corner, and then you get whatever afterwards, so it's not that bad. It's pretty good. But remember, that has to be EX Shoryu, so it can't be done with a regular Shoryu. Regular Shoryu, it'll just trade and that's it, but for the most part, yeah, you're better off on doing EX. I highly doubt he's going to be able to do anything, but we'll try it anyways.
Fighters ready. Engage.
Wow, really? You can't even write? Wow. That's probably the most you could probably do. Yeah, he can't really do much except for grab or something. But I mean, if you know he's gonna go into a super, you can probably just do something like that. And I guess escape it altogether, but... yeah, it's not really gonna do much, but okay. What else could he have done? Yeah, he can't really do much. Everything else is probably too slow. Now, Dudley's an interesting one that I tried yesterday. Well, I'll use Corkscrew. It's probably going to be universal anyways.
Let's fight like gentlemen.
Fighters ready.
So for the most part,
Fighters ready.
you would want to do EX upper, and you'll get a juggle afterwards, or regular upper too. Regular upper is more beneficial because you don't waste meat or anything. So now, what I found out yesterday that was the best punish for this would be to do upper, walk up into toward forward into super. And it does a good amount of damage. Another one you can do is that, but I mean it's not that much damage as you can see. I tried to connect upper into duck under uppercut, but it's too slow. So yeah, with EX, I mean you get like 4 points more of damage, but I mean, yeah, you waste an EX bar for that, and you don't really want to do that. So yeah, regular upper, and then walk up into toward forward into super. After the trade, of course. With the lane, I didn't really try it with the lane either. I apologize to all you Necro players, but you can't get away with this any longer. Haha.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Nice. So she could just super through it and that's it. I don't know if she can do... No, roundhouse doesn't work. EX uppercut works. Regular upper... Yeah, that doesn't work. But EX uppercut works. Let's try roundhouse. Nope. Nothing else will probably work. I mean, maybe low short. Yeah, it's not worth it. You're better off just going into super afterwards. And you get max damage for that. So that's pretty nice. Hugo, like I said before, you can just 360. But another option you have is to... If you expect them to do the super afterwards, after the tornado hook, you can do a backbreaker, which will whip, get behind them, and then go into 720. So it's pretty nice. And why does it do that?
Are you ready? Go.
Oops. So yeah, that's the 360, and obviously it goes to everything. But the other option is to do backbreaker, and then into 720 afterwards. Come on. Come on. There we go. And that's with Hugo. Another option would be to do backbreaker, and then I'm pretty sure you can do could have sworn you had enough time to do that. Yeah, I guess not, but yeah, so you can just 360 afterwards to avoid everything altogether. So it's a good punish. Now for one of my favorites. Obviously because Ken Shoryu is so fast, he has a lot of possibilities afterwards. So this is with no super, and this is with super. What the fuck? So this is with simply with no super. And now when he does super, the cool thing is you get a trade. And you get a dash up into strong Shoryu. And that's a good amount of damage. Now another idea is to do strong Shoryu into super. And you get the shit. You get a full punish off of that, so that's pretty nice. But I mean at the same time it's better off to go into strong into jab Shoryu. Almost the same amount of damage and no meter to waste. Shit. But now, when he does a super, you can apply the same concept that Remy did, and go into super afterwards. Now this is with strong Shoryu, after the tornado. And you get 55 points of damage, which isn't too bad, but I mean, considering that you're using a bar, I mean, you're better off just going into jab Shoryu. So, but it looks pretty cool. So remember, this is no meter. And almost the same amount, wasting no meter, you get 53 points of damage from the strong Shoryu. And does a good amount of damage, so that's pretty nice. Okay. Hurricane into Denjin? Maybe. Maybe. Let's try it. That's a promising setup. So to do EX Shoryu afterwards to get the trade, and then do Tatsu to see how much meter we get. And maybe we might get enough. And then you get... yeah. Yeah, it could possibly work. But then again, that's an option that you would have to go to if you were Ryu anyways. But then again, you're better off just simply going into Shoryu and then getting a knockdown. And then into whatever after that. yeah, that's a pretty nice setup that you can do too. So that's one thing you can look forward to. And yeah, that's about it for the Necro punish. I mean, it's pretty convenient way to get extra damage on Necro, or other Necro players that tend to just simply go into super after their tornado hook. So it's a nice idea.